Bam, 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 bam. Yo, what's happening? YB After Dark.
Yes, sir.
Jay Cush in the building. We got Charlie Jones. You know what I mean? It's a two-man right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I excel. You know what I'm saying? I was at the Navy. Like, the two-man game.
What you mean by that? What sort of two mans we talking? What's that about? What's up with
Pause, nigga.
Resume. Hold on.
Nah, but for real. Yeah. What's good, yo? I hope y'all been having a good time. Sorry we haven't dropped anything in the last couple weeks. We had shot episode 3 already, but unfortunately I messed up and the audio was off on it, and we weren't able to salvage the episode. So now we're reshooting it. So you can call it 3.5 if you like. But you know, we in the building. We having a great ass time trying to ride it out to the end of the semester and whatnot. Charlie, how about you, man?
Dude, I'm trying to get out of here, bro. I'm just like I'm so ready to be done, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I need time to do stuff. The thing is, I just need a break. Like, I really need a good amount of time where I just don't have stuff to do. And what's crazy is I feel like, you know, a lot of times I be complaining about homework keeping me busy, but like it feels like this week, like I haven't done like any homework at all this week. It feels like, I mean, you know, like there's a few little things here and there, but like really what's been keeping me busy is the fact that I need to like be everywhere. Like on Sunday, I was, you know, like I think where did I go on Sunday? I had something to do in
Baltimore or something.
Yeah, I was in. I had somewhere to go in the morning, and then I forget. It was like some like a meeting for like some club, and then I had gosh, it was not even that important of a meeting if I can't even remember what it was for. But yeah, it was like we were meeting talking about something we were going to be setting up for next semester. But yeah, after that, I drove to Baltimore. Right. And then I spent like 3 hours there doing an interview for a YBTV segment. And then I had to drive back here so I could film another thing for one of my classes. And then in class that night, we edited it together. And so it's just like between that and like, you know, making time for my girlfriend, like we had to go bra shopping on like Monday and Tuesday, because like both of her bras broke in the wash. By the way, this is not to be like one of those guys, but dog, the price of bras, like I'm talking to you. For all because I know the
person making them or the person buying them.
I'm talking about the person making them. I'm talking to distributors, because you know a lot of you know the CEO of Insert,
sponsored by Victoria's Secret.
The CEO of Insert bra company name here. Is a big fan of our pod, I know, and so I want to address them directly. Dog, make bras cheaper. What are we doing? Why is it $30 for some underwear? Like one pair.
It's just titties.
It's like and they're like really important too. Like bras.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but like, you know, like they're really important because they provide that support. You can like that. It really hurts your back. It's like,
damn, I thought about something inappropriate, but you know what?
That's crazy.
I'm gonna save it.
Yeah, so it's just like for how expensive they are, but then also how fragile they are, because they just break in the wash. Like that's what happened to my girlfriend. Like both of her bras broke in the wash, right? So we had to go out shopping for more, and it's like, dog, I felt weird. Like
hell yeah,
I was. It was
I don't like shopping with women at all.
It's that I don't mind.
No. Like,
it is kind of a pain. I will agree. I took like, you know, I love my girlfriend very much, so I'll tolerate it for her. But it's like if I had to, like, if you weren't my girlfriend and we were just at the mall hanging out and you're like, oh, let's like pop into this store real quick, and then you spend like 30 minutes looking at like five different items that are all like very similar. Like I don't want to be reductive, because I know that I get really into stuff that,
clean up and now 5.
No. I just mean like I don't get like really like I also get into like there's some stuff that I enjoy that I could spend a lot of time engaging with that, you know, maybe my girlfriend doesn't understand.
Right.
So I try to keep that in mind, but at the same time it's like, yo, do you need to check the makeup aisle every time we go to Target? Like every time? We were just here 2 days ago. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. There's never anything new. It's all the same shit every time. Why are we doing this? Why are we like, why? Why does it have to take an hour to look through the makeup? We came here to buy one ingredient for something, and you're spending an hour or like at least minimum 45 minutes. It's minimum 45 minutes. And then she complains that like, oh, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom or something. Like, she's like, oh, you're leaving me alone? What, you want me to wait here for eternity? This is purgatory, yo. It's crazy. But yeah, so we were bra shopping, right? I'm in an area. I am catching so much side eye just because like, it's like, she goes back in the changing room, right, to try on a bunch of different bras. Because
now you're out there standing around a bunch of bras and a bunch of women trying to
like I was just sitting like back in the changing room. Like they have like a bench, so I was just sitting on the bench outside the changing room waiting, and my girlfriend texted me. She's like, hey, these don't fit because because bra companies can't be consistent. They just can't. No different company can agree on a cup size, on a band size. Like, it is so stupid. It like, bro, she was like I helped her measure, and then we went online to see like a chart of like, okay, what do these measurements mean? And every website had like a different, like some, like they were giving her a range of like either from like G cup to B cup. How can we not like get a more uniform system in place? Like, I get it, different shapes, different sizes, and that's great. Like, people should be celebrating their unique features, but at the same time, it's like, are we sure there's not like a more like a better way for companies to like make this more like accessible to people? Like, cause it's like, it's just crazy. It's like from, it's just wild. So yeah, I had to go out there alone and start looking through bras, and I'm just like, dog, I'm in a suit. I was wearing a suit for something I did for class, and then we immediately went after. So I'm like standing there, suit and tie, just digging through a drawer of bras, like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yo, please no one talk to me or look at me, please. I swear I'm not a pervert. I swear. But like at the same time, I'm just like I look over. A total pervert. I look like a total, because it's just like, what's a dude doing alone in an area like digging through bras? And I'm just like, oh man, can't I was sitting there, I was like, dude,
couldn't be me.
Oh man, I sure do love my girlfriend. Man, what a good boyfriend am I? So loyal and loving to be digging through these bras for her. Like performing like, hey everybody.
Have you got to narrate your bra search?
Like, you can't. What can you do? What can you do? Because you don't want to get.
You shouldn't be there.
It's just like for me, like I am. I'm a African American, and my pops, he's always like, "You're a black man. You're a black man." And it's like, I've been treated like a black man in public. Like, I'll catch dog. I walked into Macy's. I was just looking at colognes. I was just looking at spraying them on the thing. Smell it, right? I had 5 different attendants walk up to me and be like, "Hi, can I help you find anything? Are you looking for anything today?" But they're giving me that that white woman stare that like,
I know you about to steal.
Yeah, exactly. Like just call me the hard R at this point. Like, just call me. Like, you ain't got.
I hate when they do that. Like,
it's crazy. Like, bro, first of all, this is a Macy's. Kill yourself. Like, who's shopping at Macy's that you feel like I don't know why. I'm just mad about it. Like, I just don't like. Hot take, it really sucks to be racially profiled. I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for that. All right, a lot of people are gonna disagree with me in the comments, but no, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm always like, I'm kind of like extra, especially like in a shop setting, where like that stereotype exists. And even furthermore, like it is a woman's clothing store, and I'm a guy alone, or like seemingly alone. My girlfriend's in the changing room, So it's like I am like hyper aware of this situation. Like, I'm super self-aware and anxious, automatically, like by default, and then it's made even worse. Like, it's just. It sucks. It really sucks.
No, it does. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, like I say, I hate the last time I went shopping with a girl, I mean, was the girl I was telling you about from Florida, where I ended up getting some buns on the first date. So it worked out well for me that day. But typically it doesn't go like that. So like, for me, like I just don't like as a guy, I'm logical as so like when I go anywhere, I already know what I'm looking for.
Yes.
And I'm only there specifically for that. Now, sure, I might like look if I see something passing through. Oh, let me see what it says. But like the way my time is structured, I don't have time to just meander around
Yes.
and just this looks nice. Like so for me, like if I'm ever like kicking it with a girl and she's like, yo, let's go shopping, I'm usually like, hell no. In that case, she didn't tell me we were about to go do that. We were about to get some breakfast. And then afterwards, she was like, hey, let's go walk around the mall and, see what's this and this. So I kind of got roped into it. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? Like, thank you for roping me into it, though, by the way. But I'm going to see you soon. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't waste time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, my ADHD, I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me to just sit around and like watch somebody do that, now that's just annoying the fuck out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Absolutely. I think for like ADHD, boredom can cause boredom feels like actual physical discomfort. Like if I'm standing there, like I fully relate to that. I get that because it's like I'm just like, yo, we came here for a purpose. We came here for a mission. Let's not get sidetracked, which is really ironic coming from the guy with ADHD. But at the same time, it's just like, yo, I am not engaged with what you're like looking at all. So I'm just kind of standing here, like, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for you to like kind of get it together. And the thing is, it's like there's this weird like. I would be more understanding, because there's ways that I waste time, or there's ways that I spend my time that I'm sure would seem like, like for lack of a better term, like a waste of time to her, right? That like she wouldn't be engaged with and she would be bored with. But so like, I try to remember that, and I be respectful of that, because like a relationship, it's give and take. I make sacrifices, you make sacrifices. That's what's up. But like, it's just like it.
Because for me, like, right, the thought process would be like, at least if in your case, right, where you're so time limited, we're not spending 45 minutes.
That's what I mean.
Looking at pros, like.
Because that's my thing. I'm like, hey, I have this thing later. Like, I gotta get, we gotta get going. And then she's like, okay, yeah, not a problem. We'll be quick in and out. And then like, that's a lie. It's a lie. It's always a lie. Because she's like, oh, you know what? The EOS did just come out with with new lotions. So like, can we pop in that aisle real quick? It's never real quick. It's never been real quick. Like, and it's just, I get it. You want to look around. You want to shop around. This is the stuff you're interested in. But like, if I'm like, hey, like we're running out of time, we got to get going. Don't be mad. Like, and don't be like, don't rush me. Like, cause that's the thing I'll catch flack. And like, I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to rush you, but at the same time, like we do need to be in a rush. Like we need to get going.
Yeah.
And then she get mad at me for that. And I'm just like, I don't, like, what do you want me to say? How do you want me to say? I literally asked her, I was like, is there a way I could, like, is there a way I could say that? Right? Or like, is there a way that like you'd be more receptive to? And she was like, no, I can't really think of anything. Like I just don't like being rushed. And I'm like, lock in, I guess. I don't know. Like, just hurry up. Like at a certain point, like you can't ask me to like figure out what, like how to phrase it better if you can't help me figure out how to phrase it better. Like,
well, at this point, like you gotta be respectful of my time too. Like,
exactly.
Like
this isn't just like like your time. I'm happy to like give you that time, but then like you keep taking more and more time. It's hard. It's really difficult because it just does. It's like, oh, you gotta be mindful. You gotta be mindful of your girlfriend, and yeah, you do, you do. But at a certain point, there also has to be that, like, the other side of that, where it's like, my girlfriend should also be mindful of my time, because if we're spending 3 hours in a single store, like, you're really.
What's like the whole notion, like happy wife, happy life, right? Like they kind of like put like that emphasis, like, well, if you make your wife happy and she's always happy, then you're gonna be happy. So make sure you keep your wife happy. That way you have a happy home. It's like, but what about like happy spouse, happy house. Like, how about
Real, yeah.
we focus on like the mutualness of it because we're both together, we're both married, we both have this coexisting life together. So how about we both put effort into keeping each other happy so that we're not arguing over dumb shit.
Because that's what a relationship is supposed to be. It's not 50-50.
It's not supposed to be one-sided. The second it starts getting one-sided, that's when it's like, you know what?
That's a bad relationship. You're being taken advantage of. If it's one-sided, men and women, because I've seen it happen to women too. And it's really crazy too, because women talk about, like there are girls who go on, like, they talk about, like, oh yeah, this guy, I really loved him. I was taking care of him. I bought him a car. I bought him all this. I did all that. And then he went and left me for some other. And it's like, why were you doing all that? Like, you weren't, what was he doing for you? What was he doing? Oh, well, it's just, I loved him so much. You got manipulated. You got manipulated. And I'm like, it sucks. That's bad. That's horrible. And that is not really your fault either. Because you know what? A manipulator's going to manipulate. It wouldn't be manipulation if it wasn't effective. You know what I mean? So like, it's really unfortunate, but people gotta be mindful of that. Like once, like if like there are, like I said, a relationship's not 50-50. It's 100-100, right? You're giving your all to someone else, because if you can't if you can't find someone that you love so much that it makes you kind of get over yourself and make sacrifices for them, then you're not going to be a good spouse. Like, you're just not, because that's what a relationship needs. People need, you need to be supporting each other. And you know what? Some days your 100% is going to look a lot like 70%, maybe even 30%. Maybe you just have nothing to give. That's why I'm giving you everything I got, because I want to support you and prop you up and get you back up to that 100%. So that it's not, and
that
it's
shit
not
gets
just
tiring. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this firsthand because I've been through it. Like, for example, I was the last person that I was in a relationship with, who I was living with. She was somebody that was always like on the move, like constantly, like. But for example, she didn't have a driver's license, so like she couldn't just up and move wherever she wanted to. So it was always like, yo, can you take me here? Can you take me there? And now, for example, I was working third shift from like 8:30 at night to like 7 in the morning. Go home, sleeping for a little bit, for then her to wake me up and be like, yo, I need a ride here, I need a ride there, I need to take me here, I need to go to this job interview, and I was like, yo, like, you need to like get a license, you needed to start being more independent, because like right now we're arguing because I'm running on fumes and I'm tired of your shit. No, like, for example, right, and I shouldn't tell this story, but like it's like 4 years removed from it, so whatever. But when COVID first happened, right, like people were dying left and right, and like me and her both got COVID, right, and that weekend it was her cousin's kid's birthday party, all the way in New York, right. So she was like, "Let's go to New York," and I was like, "We got COVID. The fuck you mean let's go to New York? We supposed to be in quarantine right now. We not supposed to be doing thing." Like they according to the government, that's when they're tracking people's movements. And I was like, yo, like, you bugging. We need to sit on down for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you want to have your little hot girl summer, but like, no, we're not going to New York. So she was like, started throwing a fit. This and this and this and this, like throwing it in my face. Like, for example, like at the time I had my own whip, but because she had a whip that she wasn't driving, she was always like, nah, you could use mine because it was nicer or whatever. So I was like, cool. But then like she'd be like, oh, well, you always driving my whip, like, so yeah, nah, you gotta do this for me now. And it's just like, yo, like, don't use one thing to like throw it in my face and then, like, when you don't get your way. So she just kept at it to the point where I was like, you know what, I got fucking COVID right now, but I'm gonna drive your bum ass all the way to fucking New York so you can go to your cousin's birthday party with COVID, and hopefully you don't pass it off to her or one of her little children and kill them niggas off. Like,
that's it. It's like, it's a crazy mentality that people get in, where it's like, oh, this is something I really want, so I'll excuse, this and this. And it's like, come on, yo, you can't. Like, I remember, having, like, knowing people during COVID who were like we would be at I'd go to like, this was like I should say it was like post COVID, like after the lockdown was lifted, everything, and people were back, but it was still around, people were still catching COVID. And so like I was at like some school function, because I was in high school during this time. So we were back in school now. It was like my senior year, and like one of my friends leans over to me and he goes, "Psst, yo, dog, I am not feeling good right now." And I was like, "Yo, is everything okay?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I just got COVID." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You got COVID?" He goes, "Oh, no, it's chill, it's chill." I'm just like, I'm trying to keep back from people, so it's good. Like it's, I'm keeping distance. I'm like, you leaned over to me to say this. You leaned over to me to say this. What do you mean?
I felt the particles of COVID.
He's like, no. I'm like, I'm still keeping 6 inches away. I'm like, first of all, dog, what do you mean? It's 6 feet. It's 6 feet. 6 inches. That's what are you talking about?
Nigga, you raw talking it right now.
That's crazy. He's not even like, bro pulled down his mask to whisper because I couldn't hear. Why? Why are you doing this to me, bro? I'm like, yo, dog, I'm like, you better
get in the shower.
I told him, like, yo, back up off me right now. Dog, you must have lost your damn mind talking to me with COVID, acting like it's fine. And he's like, no, just like, be cool. Don't tell anybody. I should shoot you. I should shoot you right now. Yeah, I didn't say anything. I ain't no snitch, but like, come on. Also, like, who was I gonna tell? The teacher? Like, bro, like, it was the end of the school day. We were going home anyway. Yeah. Like, it was, what really? And I was also like, who do you expect me to tell? Like, we don't have. This is public. This is Upper Darby High School. I am doxing myself here. I'm sorry. Mean Girls was based on my high school, though. Tina Fey went there. So
shit, I'd have called the CDC. Like,
dog,
get this nigga out here. This nigga breathing COVID on me in class. You got me up, dog. Like, get your bum ass away.
Yo, someone get this dude out of my classroom. This is, but no, like, it's a mess with school. It's not like we had like a health and safety officer or anything. I'm sure we did, but like, I don't know who it is. There were 4,000 students at that school and like 15 teachers. Like we were so understaffed. Those teachers deserve more money. Okay, this is for the folks at home. Teachers deserve more money. They deal with so much. Bro, at my school, the year after I left, right, they posted on social media asking parents to tell their kids to chill out. Because they were like, it has gotten to the point where our teachers are spending more of their time being referees in fights than teaching, because so many students were getting into fights. Fighting was always a problem. And honestly, I think that was a part of the magic of my high school, actually, because, no, hear me out. Tell me, all right, where you can go to drink a nasty carton of chocolate milk, eat the most rubber-like burger you've ever had in your life, and watch a fight all at 10 a.m. All right, because like I can't think of anywhere else. I can't.
To me, that sounds like reasons why people are fighting. Got the rubbery ass burger. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like, what else are we gonna do? Like, what? Like, learn in school? Mm-hmm. Hell no. Like they were. Yeah, no. Those.
That's all. Like, I remember when I was in high school and they had like the little the snack little hour or whatever. Like they would sell like cookies, Rice Krispies, treats, and all kinds of shit. Oh, I used to hate the motherfucker had money. Because I never had the money until like I started working at Burger King like around like 15 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there like watching these kids just go through the lines, just, yo, let me get like 4 cookies. Let me get 2 of them Rice Krispie treats. And I'm sitting there with my little white milk and bullshit pizza and whatever else they like. Oh, I used to hate that shit. I hate poverty with a passion. Like
it is really like genuinely it is so I don't know. I feel weird speaking on it because I grew up in, like I said, Upper Darby, very underfunded school, large amount of kids, right outside of Philly. So it's not like, it isn't Philadelphia. I'm not gonna say it's Philadelphia, but it was like, it's like Philly light. It's Philly-esque. Like, there's a little. It gives you a little taste of it.
I don't know if you ever seen Dave Chappelle, but in one of his stand-ups, he said he's like, I didn't grow up poor, but I grew up around white people with money, so I felt poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like because he grew up in Silver Springs, Maryland, or something like that, and he was just like, yeah, like we were middle class black family, but because everyone else was like upper class whites, like he constantly felt like he was poor because he'd go to their houses and they'd have toys that he didn't have, or like the meals they would serve, like, you know. So I can definitely get like how even though like you're part of a different like you know, echelon kind of like where like, you know, maybe, you know, you're making more money than like the majority of, but you're still part of like a minority in that echelon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and with Upper Darby, it was not really the same. It was a wider range, you know. So I did grow up around like, you know, these like upper middle class white families who had more than I had, but then I also grew up around like, you know, family like, you know, lower middle, upper lower class, honestly, where it's like, yo, like this is, I could like, you know, like someone's mom walks in at like 10 a.m. from a double, like from like a you know, 13-hour shift. She was just working in a hospital trying to support her family as like a single mother, and like I'm just over there, like I'm just watching like Paw Patrol with my friend, not really aware of that until like, you know, many years later, and I'm just like, yo, like there were people struggling a lot more than me. Like I very much recognize, you know, like I do have a level of privilege. But like coming here, it was a real like whiplash for me because I thought I was like privileged, and then I look around and
see niggas driving Teslas and
dude,
shit. You're like,
there's a dude who crashed his Mustang, right? And he blamed it on the other person, even though it was like everyone found out it was his fault. And then he got a new Mustang. Like his dad bought him a new Mustang, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got this. This is my new ride. Had to replace the old one. It just wasn't really looking good anymore. Blah 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 blah. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Die.
little mini Elon Musk
fast.
running around his.
Bro, okay. Here's the thing. Elon Musk, bro, why do so many people glaze him, bro? He did not do anything like good, you know? He got here's a little bombshell for y'all. For those who don't know, Elon Musk's money comes from apartheid emerald mines. Okay? His family owns emerald mines in South Africa that they obtained from the apartheid, you know, the massacre of black people in Africa that was propagated by whites. The Dutch specifically, I believe. Watch Hotel Rwanda. Don Cheadle, amazing actor. It gives you a glimpse into like what that era was like. You know, they pitted people against each other. They were basically like the Dutch came in and they were like, hey, we're running this place. All these light skins here, they look more like us, so we're gonna trust them. Those are the Tutsis, and all the darker skinned people, those are the Hutus. Well, you guys are bad.
I don't know if you've seen like not too long ago, but in South Africa, they were hunting the white farmers. Like they were straight up killing them and taking back the lands that they had possessed.
Yeah, because where did the farmers come? Where did the farmers get those lands? Did they buy that land? Did they trade for that land? Did they do anything to earn that land? No, they just showed up and were like, "This is ours,"
and then decided to be racist after. That's the part that it's like, how you going to show up in somebody else's own country, set up shop, and then be like, you know, I don't fuck with y'all. Like, you deserve to get a machete upside the head.
And I'm proud to be an American, like, where we stole all of our land. Like
the other day, I had posted on X because I got into a discussion with somebody who was they were saying like, oh, I'm a Latino and the people that are racist to me the most are the blacks, and I'm just like, are the blacks deporting y'all? Because last time I checked, it was the whites rounding y'all up in vans and shit, like in. Have you seen some of these videos where they've been kidnapping these students and shit? Like,
yeah,
bro,
dude, at colleges off campus. Like, what? Have y'all never heard of a student visa? Like, I'm scared,
bro. It is,
bro. My roommate is Malaysian. He's like from Malaysia. He has a student visa.
Well, they're targeting pro-Palestine protesters. So that's
great.
Yeah.
Like those. how is that like that's like that I mean that's
Pretty
always
much, they're-
that's always what the government's doing. It's always like, oh, we're doing this thing, but actually it's about this, because
Yeah.
that's what the war on drugs was. It was Nixon out like or no, it wasn't Nixon. I forget who what president was in charge when they made marijuana illegal, but if you like it was used, right, by Nixon as a way of raiding both like
think it was
anti-war
'cause that was,
protesters and
Reefer Madness. So I think I was like back in like the 40s or 50s when they made that illegal.
yeah, but it was used by like Nixon. So there was a bill that came across Nixon's desk where he was basically they would decriminalize marijuana, because it came out like the studies that were used to support the criminalization of it were actually faked by the FDA. This is real. Look it up. The FDA faked it in order to kind of like, so they were about to get their funding cut. So they needed to create this like big controversy to kind of justify their existence. So they were like, actually, marijuana is really bad, and who smokes marijuana? Mexicans. And so they come like that's
They're taking our white women and
That's what-
smoking
no,
them up.
exactly,
No,
that's what
I
they-
remember Reefer Madness. You know
Reefer
what I'm saying?
Madness, it was crazy. And so they were like using all of this racist dogma and saying it was about marijuana. And then Nixon got a bill to decriminalize it, but he vetoed it. And his Speaker of House actually said, or his I forget, one of it, basically I think it was one of his aides or a speaker actually went on record of saying we knew that the drug wasn't harmful. We knew that the studies were faked, but we also knew that it could be used as a political weapon. We could anti-war protesters, the Black Panther movement, right? Like anybody the government disagreed with, well, you just say that they have some pot in their house and boom, now you've got grounds to do a raid. You can do a no-knock search. Like, this is insane. And even then, they were still doing, which is crazy.
Even
it's
say
crazy
like
to me.
like Reagan with the war on drugs, where if you were black and got caught with crack, you got like 100 years for it. But if you were white and had the same weight and just coke, then you were cool and got just a fine. So it was like they definitely used the war on drugs as a racial tool to segregate and still keep people oppressed, because you gotta think about it. America has more people in the prison industry than the rest of the world does combined. So it's like, and it's not like we're the biggest country. You know what I'm saying? So then you look at what the private industries, when they started booming and like what that's cheap labor. That's really what it is. So it's like, so really we found a way to modernize slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know it predominantly targets black men.
Absolutely.
The racial, I mean, not the racial, but the criminal courts and, the police, how they police the area. We know it's racist. They're giving black men more time so that they can spend more time in bars doing cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? Working for $1 an hour or some bullshit.
Dude, some prisoners be making 13 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely like
Makes Messiah look like a saint. Dude, that $8 an hour, I was like,
$8 an hour ain't too bad. Honestly, I mean, like, let's be real. Like, $8 an hour ain't that bad.
You ain't gonna get me to move for $8 an hour.
I will. Well, I mean, that's the thing though. They're pretty. They understand. What I respect is that they know what they're paying you. Like they're like I'll be in the film equipment room, right? And it's like, I could be like tidying up and doing extra work. Like, there's no orders to put together, there's nothing to put away, there's no equipment to check or anything. So I'm just kind of waiting for someone to either put in an order or like have a problem with something so I can help them fix it. But I'm just waiting there. And so I'll just be on my phone, And then my boss will walk in and he'll see me on my phone and he's like, "What you playing?" And I'm like, "Oh, just, little like I don't know, like little like Subway Surfers or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, sick. What's your high score?" Like we'll just chat, because he's like, he knows I'm getting paid, $8 an hour. He's not gonna expect me to be doing the most, right? It's like, if you want me to do the most, pay me like you're gonna.
Shit, I'm gonna tell you too, like I could probably get your job over at Chili's next semester if you wanted. And they started me out at 17.
Oh, dang.
So I mean, like, even if you want to
plus tips.
No tips. But as a cook.
Oh, okay.
Versus like,
Okay.
I mean, if you wanted to be like a server, I mean, you could probably do that. But I mean, for me, like as a cook, I was making 17 an hour, and I got bumped up to 18 like within 2-3 months.
Nice.
So you know what I mean, like versus having to do all this. You know what I'm saying? Like at least you could do one part-time job, work a couple hours there, and still make probably relatively what you make here doing all this shit.
Absolutely make more than I make here. Because like, I mean, I worked at Starbucks for 3 years. I started there my senior year of high school. So my first 2 years of college, I was doing it here. In fact, my freshman year, I didn't have a car on campus for the first like 2 or 3 weeks. So I was biking to work. Work is 3.5 miles away. That's the nearest one. Dog, uphill both ways. All right, I am not BSing you. It was I don't know how, but it was uphill both ways. It was, dude. There are some massive hills here. So either way I was going. No, you're good. Either way I was going, there was always like a giant slope that ran for at least there was at least 1 mile of incline each way. So it was a pain, dude. And I was working like 24 hours a week at that point. And yeah, I just, and I appreciate the offer, but like, yeah, I refuse to work off campus anymore just cause it is the time you work is not equivalent to the amount of time it takes up. Cause it's like, oh, if I work on weekends, then if I choose to work on weekends, then I lose my weekends. Yeah. Like I never get a break. And that wore me out so fast last year. It's also, they were not respectful of me as a student, right? Because I would tell, I would request off for like spring break, winter break, like a month in advance. This happened at Starbucks. I requested off a month in advance, and my boss got back to me and said, "Nah, can't do that. Can't give you off. Sorry, I have too many people requesting off." I don't care. Like respectfully, I'm not requesting. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that I'm going to be home in Philadelphia during this time. From this time to that time, I am not driving 2 hours up here to work for 4 hours and drive 2 hours back just for a check that's not going to cover the gas. Granted, they did pay me well, but like it's just gas was expensive at that time. And I mean, it definitely would have covered gas, but I'm not trying to do all that, Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous expectation. And she's like, and my manager's like, oh, well, if you're not going to be here, you're going to have to find someone to cover your shift, friend. I'm like, we're not friends. We are not friends. You are talking all types of crazy. To cover your shit. You're going to have to find someone. You're going to have to. That's crazy. That's so crazy. I couldn't hear you over all these sick hours though. Like someone write my name in the book and tell them that I'm sick today and every day that you happen to schedule me, because you know what? I got COVID. Sorry. How is it? How did I get COVID? Don't worry about that. I'm sick. I can't come in.
Somebody was whispering in your ear.
Someone. Yeah, dude. Man, it was just absolutely ridiculous. So I had to cut ties. Like I just had to, be out of there. And I still swing by. Like I miss my coworkers. I miss the environment, but like I don't miss the late nights, we had like this time, we had like a month where we were doing these like BOGOs on, the only weekday that I worked was Thursdays. So we would do BOGOs on Thursdays, and then I was always closing shift. I wasn't getting out of there till like 11. Like we closed at 8:30. Or no, we closed at 8:30 at the time. Now they close at 8. But like we closed at 8:30 and we closed at 8, scheduled to get out at 8:30. And I was there till 11 because we were so swamped during the day. Like there was a rush all day. So nobody was able to do pre-closing stuff. Nobody was able to do anything because our drive-through times were backed up like 30 minutes. We had lines around the store, and then people were like still coming up to the counter and being like, "Where's my drink? Where's my drink?" Kill yourself. Your drink's in hell. That's where it is. Why don't you go get it? Like, what do you want me to do? Do you not see the hundreds of people around you that also want their like 50 drinks? Like, I'm sorry that you needed to put 10 different pumps of syrup in your drink, but like it's gonna take a little bit longer to make a frappuccino than it is to make a hot coffee. Because a hot black coffee, Psst, coffee for Steve, cool. And then you want your, caramel ribbon crunch, 10 pumps of dark caramel, 3 pumps of white mocha, 2 of mocha. I one time I made a drink. The ticket was like probably like yay big.
Oh, I'm believing.
Dog, this
Starbucks customers are the most snobbiest people like on earth, probably.
No, actually, some of like our regulars, sick. They are awesome. I love them.
I'm talking about the ones that be like extra. Like
no, we
like
do have.
When
we
they
do have a lot of
extra,
those.
they extra.
Yeah,
like,
no, there are some people who take it to a crazy extreme. There was this one person who would always mobile order at the first store I worked at back in UD. I was like there was this one regular who would order mobile every time, and she would get like these incredibly long tickets. One time she got 50 pumps of syrup in a drink. I looked up like how many calories are in the average pump of syrup. It was 200 grams of sugar. 2,140 calories. I remember the number because I was so blown away, and that was just in the syrup. That was before we added milk because they wanted extra sweet cream, which has sugar, and the sweet cream is just heavy whipping cream, 2% milk, and vanilla syrup.
more sugar.
Exactly. It was just all straight sugar. So yeah, it's crazy that they were doing all that, and it was like, so it's like, yo, like there was like maybe half an ounce of coffee in there. Like there was no room to put it because they ordered it in like a venti, and I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do here?
No, people are. That's why I got out the restaurant business, bro. People are, like, and like that, especially like when you're the shift manager, that will run you up the wall.
Yeah.
And then like you gotta deal with on top of that. Like for example, like when I was a shift manager, I would constantly complain to my superiors, like, yo, y'all know we understaffed because we have less people on our shifts than y'all do on day shifts, but we have more business on night shift than y'all do. I was like, it makes no sense why y'all schedule 8 people to sell a total of $700, but you're gonna schedule 4 people and we're gonna make $9,000 over the course of 8 hours. So tell me how the that makes sense.
Make it make sense. Like
So
make any sense.
It didn't, right? And then on top of that, for me, I had to do truck orders. So like I had to leave now. Like, especially when they're understaffed, I gotta go leave, go start, get on the computer, start typing up, looking up everything that we need. I have to do inventory first, so that takes like about an hour going around the restaurant, taking all the total inventory, to then turn around, order their
board iPad, like it's.
Then when the truck gets there, you know what I'm saying? Like they essentially just dump all the shit in the way, right? Yeah. But then, for example, like if like it was my job to then turn around and break all those boxes down, put everything back, and get rid of the boxes or whatever. But then it'd be like understaffed. So like now I can't do that.
Yeah.
So like now I'm leaving. Like so then it got to the point where it's like I was like, all right, well y'all don't want to give us the staff, cool. Now when y'all come in, it's gonna be boxes on boxes on boxes, all this shit in the way. Nope, we didn't clean. Blah blah. I was like, because y'all didn't give us the people to do it. And
and they get mad at you if you stay too late. Like if you're taking overtime, it's like what do you want me to do? Like what do you want me to do? Yeah. Well, I want you to work faster.
I don't miss them 55.
How about you
weeks.
show up? Like yeah, exactly. It's like why don't you come in and why don't you show me how to do it actually? Like yeah, show me how you would handle it so that way I could emulate your.
I hate a couch
self.
Coach.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dog. I had a manager at Starbucks. Every time she was on the floor, she was working drive-through. And then when I was like, hey, I'm like, I'll be on bar, I'm making drinks, and I'm like, hey, I got a ton of drinks here. Do you think you could grab this one? And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry, friend. No, this is a planted position. I can't. My hands are tied. Sorry. And it's like, you're the storm, and like literally just go get the drink. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Something I loved about Starbucks, all right, like I really admired about them. They, your boss has to be able to do your job.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you don't just like all of my managers were trained on the same stuff I was trained on, and then extra stuff. I think that justifies them getting paid more than me. Frankly, I'm not saying like I do believe in delegation. I do believe like there is like work that may not look like work, but it is work, whatever, to each their own. But like I really appreciated the fact that it felt like this person was doing everything I was doing and more, because in my, like, that justifies them getting paid more. I can't be salty about them getting more money if they're doing that. But it's like, if you assign yourself to the easiest position where you're just talking to people and handing off drinks, and then you're refusing to help anybody in the other position, then you're not doing the same thing I'm doing. You're doing like less. You were literally doing the least. Like, that's crazy to kind of take advantage of that. Like,
I mean, and some bosses, they're just dicks, bro. Like that particular boss I was referring to, like, he would watch us on the cameras from his house. Like he had nothing better to do like than to watch us from his crib. Sometimes I used to wonder if he would masturbate to us, but like he would straight up just watch us, and then like he would just email, "Hey, I'm watching y'all, and I don't see y'all doing this, and this, and this." Or he would just pull up through the drive-through, place a big ass order, and time us to see how long it would take for this. And oh, hey, y'all took 3 minutes and 30 seconds to get me this order. So like, nah, y'all, it's supposed to be 2 minutes or below. This and this and this. Why is it taking so long? Why didn't you when y'all took my order? How come y'all didn't talk to me like this or like that? I was like, bro, get a life, my nigga. Like, yo, we are doing the best we can, like with what we got.
Exactly,
bro.
It's like you can't expect like there's just your expectations are unreasonable. Like you can't expect me to do that. So yeah, like it's ridiculous, and that's exactly why I can't like work off campus anymore. Like I'm at like, you know, I'm working when I'm at Union and I've got like an essay due in the morning and I really gotta lock in on it. I can call in and be like, hey, look, I'm gonna be so real with you. I got this essay. You know, this is gonna get like, is it all right if I, you know, and I don't normally, I try not to call off too much because a lot of people will call off, and they're very understanding about it, very supportive, and I really appreciate them for that. And that's why I enjoy like working on campus. Like, yeah, I took a pay cut, sure, but now I'm not, you know, having to spend the time driving, you know, getting ready for work, driving into work, coming back, you know. I'm saving money too, because I was spending a lot of money since I was going off campus, and I would work late, so by the time I got back, everything here was closed. So if I wanted a hot meal, I would either need to like, you know, cook something for myself in my dorm, which I just, you know, we have like the little kitchenettes in the student lounge, but like if you put anything in a common room fridge, there's like there's a coin toss as to whether it'll still be there the next time you check. And it's like, you know, it's hard. Like the stoves are really crappy. Like it was just like, it was hard to cook already, and I had no energy nor motivation to do so. So I was just like, you know, I'd want to pick something up on the way home, and I would do that like consistently. So it's like, I would be losing money there, you know, just by picking up dinner.
That's why, like, I love Chili's, bro. Like, and I'm probably gonna go back this summer just to work part time, because for me, like, they never pushed me to work beyond what I wanted to work. Like, they asked me from the beginning, how many hours you want? Like, are you okay with this amount of hours? I was like, yeah. I started working full time. Then when I got tired of working full time because I was, you know, it was too much for me, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go back to part time, and I only want to work Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Cool. They gave me that shit. Then they were like, when they needed some help, they were like, hey, can you work on Thursdays? I was like, you know what? I was like, if y'all give me a pay raise, I'll come in on Thursdays. They gave me the pay raise, started working Thursdays. When I told them I was about to join Messiah and go to college, I was like, hey, you know, and they always respected like my whatever boundaries I set. Like, they were always really cool about that. And on top of that, the cooks eat for free. So it's like I'm making like 10-ounce steaks damn near every night, taking them back. I would be bringing back my sister like a case of like ribs or like some chicken wings, like 30-40 pieces of chicken wings.
Wild,
bro. I was like, and they didn't give it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, as long as, you know, we produced and I did my job the way I was supposed to, like for the customers, like they took care of us. And it was like, that's the way ideally a job should be. But it's just that because of greed, because of, you know, other bullshit, don't. Like, I remember working at Applebee's, bro. Like, when I was at Applebee's, they wouldn't let the cooks eat. The cooks had to pay 50%. And then on top of that, for example, like, let's say some food was about to get wasted. Like, we would be like, oh, no, let me get that real quick instead. And that way I don't have to spend my money, you know, because we didn't get a lunch break either. So they, after some point, then they try to be like, oh, no, y'all can't even eat the wasted food. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
I am cooking back here for 10 hours for you. Y'all can't feed me?
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. And you know what? I will say, like, I know I was complaining about, like, Starbucks. That was more like, most of my issues with Starbucks were with my store manager specifically. Most of the time when I've had issues with Starbucks, it was the store managers. I do want to give credit where credit is due. They at least while I was there, I don't know how much they do it now. Like, they had a program where it's like food that's going out at the end of the night, that can be donated gets donated. There's like a special bag you got to put it in, that and it'll go on the the next time we get a delivery, it'll go out with the truck. And they take it and they bring it to like a collection facility, and then they go through, because it's like, you have like, Starbucks has a lot of they've got a lot of like really frankly, like really good standards when it comes to like food freshness. They're like, yo, this food is past our freshness standards, which basically means this food is like a week out from its expiration date. And even like, like, a lot of times you can, there are a lot, like, I've eaten stuff past its expiration date like quite a few times, and I've been fine. Like, it's sometimes it's like, oh, like, because companies have to, like, they got to give themselves a little bit of a safety buffer, because they know people are going to eat it after the expiration date. I am not encouraging people to eat expired food, okay? Please be careful. Please be mindful. Don't get yourself sick. Don't, like, if you can avoid it, avoid it. But like, if you got, like, if it's like, oh, if it says sell by April 6th and it's only like April 8th, you're probably fine to eat that. Like, you might be good. You might be good. I want to be very careful with my language here, because I don't want someone, like, commenting like I don't want someone commenting and being like, I ate shrimp that was 2 weeks past its sell by date, and I got super sick. You guys poisoned me. And I was like, you ate really nasty shrimp. I don't know, dude. Like, you use your common sense, use your senses. Yeah. If the milk smells bad, don't sip it. You don't need to sip that.
And make sure your seafood is fresh.
Yeah, smell your food. Make sure that your food doesn't smell bad. Your nose is the first line of defense against poison, because the human body is actually evolved to detect poisons. Fun fact. That's where bitter comes from. Like, poisons taste bitter to us because that's our body saying, don't drink that. Alcohol has that, like, punch, and it hurts, and it tastes kind of bad. Like, your body, sometimes people will, like, throw back a shot, and that makes them want to throw up. Not because of the alcohol absorbing into their system, but the flavor of it, because it is poison. Like, alcohol is poison. Like, it just is, by definition. It is poison, and some people find it fun. I don't want to be like, it is definitively fun and everybody should have fun, because to each their own. Those who want to drink, those who don't want to drink, all are valid. But within, keep it in moderation. Don't go crazy.
Me, ain't nothing wrong with a little beer as long as it's in moderation. Now, once you start drinking, start throwing them, like, for example, right? Like, my dad, he will not hang out with me at all. Like, he is an asshole, right? So, like, for me, the only time me and my dad ever have any, like, familial bond is at the bar. Like, he'll be like, yo, come to the bar with me. Yeah, let's have a drink type. So, like, whenever I get the chance, me and my dad will go to the bar or whatever, and we'll sit there and drink. But, like, my dad, he is a functioning alcoholic. And now, I'm not trying to talk dad, so don't take it that way. He has... he went through some tragic events. He lost his sister when he was younger, and so if them up, right? But whenever we go drink, he'll get like a pitcher for each of us, right? And then he'll just chug that pitcher, and then he'll look and he'll be like, "Oh, you still halfway?" He'll like start talking shit. Another 2 pitchers, and he'll just keep going and going and going, and like at some point I'll tap out. I'll be like, yo, I think I'm good here. And, like, because I don't want to get too, like, because, like, for example, like, we used to always go to, like, this place called Wing House. So it's, like, a bar, and they got girls in, like, short shorts and like kind of like Hooters type situation. So it's like, I don't want to get too drunk, start acting a fool, embarrass myself. So, like, let me just get to this point, and I'm off the ride. But for him, he's like, no, you're coming with me. Like, we're going to keep drinking. And it's just like, to the point where it's just too far gone. Now I'm
Yeah.
embarrassing myself trying to like mac on this, you know what I mean, young girl who's just trying to go to work and just like, it's just, for me, as I say, like, alcohol, it is a poison. But like, if done in moderation, it's not that bad for you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that's what I say, like a glass of wine a day is like healthy or some like yo, you know, but
I feel like there is a. It's interesting how Google, like the fact that Google exists kind of allows people to like support any opinion they want. Like you can say there was actually someone made a video about this where they were like, here, let's just come up with a stance, right? Let's say I believe that coffee is good for your eyesight, and then he Googles, is coffee good for your eyesight? And pulls up like a study, like one study that shows like a cup of coffee a day can improve your eyesight. And then it's like, okay, now let's look up, can coffee make your eyesight worse? And then it was like, a study shows that caffeine can actually worsen your eyesight over time. Therefore, even a cup of coffee a day can be harmful. So it's like you can support anything and say that you have like scientists backing you up, because there will always be someone who is like agreeing with you, and since we have access to all of that, and then we can mute out the other voices, because let's say
confirmation bias.
exactly, it's confirmation bias. It's literally just like, hey, let me look up the opinion that I have so I can find something to back it up. And then you can just do that infinitely. And so everyone feels like they have at least a leg to stand on, and you can't really discern what is truth and what isn't truth, because the systems that we use to validate things are the ones that people are going through in order to publish their research and publish this information, or they're finding a way to work around it and like, like be deceptive with it. And it's
and the thing
crazy.
is, like, Christians kind of sometimes play a role into that, because like we're so like trying so far to be holy that like we'll just jump ship and agree with like for example, right? Like I was in Puerto Rico. I was talking to one of my family members about how my mom, and I love you moms, but like for example, my mom, she's a Pentecostal, right? So like for her, it's this thing called the Holy Doctrine, where it's like it's super strict. Like they don't go to the movies, they don't listen to secular music. She has to always wear skirts. In Puerto Rico, it's even more strict. You're not allowed to shave. So, like, women they can't shave their legs or their arm hair and Like, it's very, very strict, right? So, for me, that's why I got a church. I couldn't fit into that mold. So, like, my mom, if I'd be like, hey, let's go to my uncle's house to kick it because, we haven't kicked it in quite some time. Let's have a good time, have a little barbecue, chill, blah, 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 blah. She will not go. Just for the simple fact that, like, my uncle might have a beer or two while we chill and drink. I mean, while we chill and, grill out or whatever. She's like, no, I can't go there because, and I'm like, but, like, didn't Jesus turn water into wine? Like, he was literally at a party. Niggas ran up on him and was like, yo, we's out of drinks. Like, and he was like, I gave him more to drink. And just, like, he didn't pass judgment on them. He could have been like, yo, you drunkards. Like, why'd y'all drink so fast? Why is there? We had 3 barrels, niggas. Like, what's up? Like, but Jesus was like, you know what? Y'all got it. Like, so I'm like, why can't you be like that? Why can't you? You know what I mean? So like, when I was telling it to one of my family members, he was like, no. The Jesus turned water into grape juice. I'm like, no. I'm pretty sure that's not in the Bible.
I don't think the Bible said that.
It said wine.
Wine.
Well, yeah, it's fermented grape. But like but there is a distinct difference between grape juice and wine. If it says that he was you think he was at a party and niggas was just drinking Welch's? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Like,
that's crazy. Like, yeah, it's wild. Like, just the mental gymnastics that people will do, it's a lot of times when we see situations of like Christians kind of like, being like kind of jumping into a certain bandwagon or like agreeing with a certain opinion. It's because they don't really like understand it, and it's more just like, oh, this kind of feels like it aligns with what we talk about. Like, I was just talking with someone the other day, right? Like, we here at Messiah, we host a monthly like student talent show called Coffee House, right? Where people can, just they audition with a panel of judges who approve or veto their act, and then they put it on, they get on stage, people come around to watch it. It's a fun time. I was talking with one of my friends about doing a sour house, which is like they're like, they take that and then they basically you're supposed to be like bad on purpose. Like it's funny, so it's the same idea as Coffee House, but like it's more comedic. It's less like people don't take it serious.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to a friend about that, and we were talking about like doing like an act, and the topic of like like cursing on stage came up, and I was like, is there a rule against cursing here? And we were like, because there's kind of like there is like a thing you got to sign that's like Messiah's like code of conduct, the covenant, which that name, it feels really it feels really serious. You could just call it a code of conduct. We have a code of conduct, but they're like, no, this is the covenant, and I'm like, I respect it. Feels a little bit like it feels like way more serious than it is, because it's like, hey,
it's got the presence of God within this paper.
It's like the presence of God, and it's like don't bring people of the opposite sex to your dorm with the door closed past visitation hours, guys. Don't do that, and don't curse. Be respectful of your friends. And it's like
they told me even as a commuter I can't get laid. I was like, okay,
that's crazy. Like yeah, it's like oh yeah, no, like it's a dry campus, all that, and it's like yeah, like that's that's fine. That's fine. That's we're at a Christian university. But like nowhere in there was like, no cursing, guys, no curse words. And so I was like, is that a really, like, is there a rule against that? Like, I'm sure it would be like disapproved of, and it might, like, they probably wouldn't include an act that has cursing, but like it feels like a lot of people like kind of shy away from it, and I feel like that's just because it's a Christian campus, and so people feel like, oh, it is unchristian like to curse. But it's like, where, like, I mean, I'm not saying that it is Christian like to curse, but I'm just like, well, I mean, Ephesians 4:19, but like,
I don't know what it said there, but
I would need to pull it up to get the let me pull up the exact quote, I don't want to mix my words. I don't want to misquote the good book.
Right.
That was not that. I feel like that sounded somewhat sarcastic. I really don't want to be wrong.
No, I got you, man.
Yeah. Let me pull that up. Ephesians 4.
I was just bugging because you said it so confidently, like you had that shit in the back of your head already, like ready to go with it.
Oh, wait. I think I had the wrong. Yeah, no, I had the wrong verse. I misremembered the verse. Exactly. See, never mind. Cut that.
What?
Let's restart. Welcome back to the pod. It's my boy Jay Kush.
That reminded me of that one YBTV episode that where they were asking that dude the Bible questions, and he was like, he didn't know like any of them.
Dude,
I was like,
that's embarrassing. That's it. That is tough. And hey,
like, at a Christian school, like on a Christian programming.
But he's like, he's a person. We're human. We make mistakes.
No, I know, but
No, I do get it though. It's like dang, I expected you to know that. And honestly, with the confidence I said, I expected me to be right. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I own that. That's on me. That was a misquote. And that is a great example of how Christians mess up. Because if I really double down on that, because there are Christians who are like, actually, this verse says this, and it's this one. And it's like, well, can you tell me what the verse is? No. What are you doing? Also, like, you get the ones that cherry pick verses. Like, here's my, like, here's a genuine hot take. I don't know how hot of a take it is though, because a lot of Christian, I don't know, because like to some Christians this is the hottest take. In fact, this take is so hot that I'm definitely going to hell for having it. And then to others, it's like, I mean, at least a lot of Christians I met, like, it's not that hot of a take. It's a pretty lukewarm take. It is not a Christian's job to hate gay people. If you hate someone for anything, if you hate someone, you're being a bad Christian. Hate is a sin. That is
Or you're
genuine.
just not a Christian.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
The whole principle of like Christianity is like love thy neighbor.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So
Like-
it's like, because they're like, oh, well, Leviticus says this. And it's like, all right, first of all, we're talking the Old Testament. Okay. Jesus isn't in there. So what, like, he's prophesied in there, but we're not like, so I'm not saying the Old Testament doesn't matter, because I think it is important to evaluate. But at the same time, right, the Old Testament tells you not to mix fabrics, not to eat pork. It tells you that. And then in the New Testament, Jesus came down and said, I have made what is unclean clean, right? So Christians can eat pork because Jesus has made it clean. Jesus has declared it clean. It is no longer a sin to eat pork. Jesus also tells us to love thy neighbor as thyself. If you are going out and calling, like, any Christian who's like who's homophobic, you can't claim you're a Christian.
You gotta love your neighbor that gets abortions. You gotta
Yes,
love your
you
neighbor
have to
you gotta love your trans neighbor. You gotta love your gay neighbor. You gotta love your Palestinian neighbor. Like, it's, people out there that like Christians that
God
like
is
are
love.
judgmental as
Yes.
hell and like are. And it's a damn shame, because the whole point of Christianity, again, we're supposed to be like our master and act like how he did when he was on earth. If you look at what he did when he was here on earth, he kicked it with sinners,
Yes.
with prostitutes, with people, tax collectors, drunk fishermen who he turned into disciples. Like, it wasn't like Christ, damn, I need to get some lunch. But it wasn't like Christ came down here and like had this expectation of perfection immediately.
Yes.
Like, we are all sinners, and like, y'all need to remember that. And especially when y'all judge these people. Now, you don't have to agree with their lifestyles. You don't have to support it and be complicit. But at the same time, like, you can treat people with a base level of empathy and respect.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not too much to ask for from a Christian.
Of course.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just the way that how America is, though. It's part of this whole divisiveness: red, blue, Democrat, Republican, pro-life, pro-choice. Like,
it's just a distraction. It's all just a distraction. The two-party system, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, oh, I'm a Democrat. Like, talk to me about your opinions, because they're just, like, I don't care. Like, oh, I'm with the red party. I'm with the blue party. I'm a Republican. I'm conservative. I'm far right. And it's like, well, far right is a little crazy. I feel like far
crazy.
If you are having, like, if you have, like, here's the thing, right? That's the illusion of choice. Like, it's not, you're giving us the illusion of choice. It's like, you're either this or this. And it's like, bro, you can have someone who is registered as a Democrat vote Republican. You can have someone registered as a Republican vote Democrat, because
or just have
ultimately-
Republican values on certain things.
Exactly. You know what? Because, like, you're not defined by you can't define a person's, like, political values with a party, because they might not agree with everything the party is doing. Like, there are.
Nor should they, because
Nor should they, because some of this, like, a lot of times, and it just all just meant to separate, because every party has done, will do, like, something messed up and crazy, something that's gonna hurt someone, because it's become so, like, polarizing, and now, like, the only way to get elected is to take a really hard stance on something. And the problem with that is, this is not a world of black and white. It is shades of gray and blue and green and so many different things. So it needs to be a case by case basis. I think, frankly, on a federal level, it is hard to run the United States of America, because us as a country are it's an incredibly large country, right? And we are trying to pass laws on a national scale, but the needs of someone in Northern California is incredibly different than someone living in South Florida,
or
right?
the Midwest,
or the Midwest,
you know what I mean? Like,
or even down the street from you, because you know what? We all have our own lives, and it's like, I took us way
I
off
live by a
track.
bunch of Nepalis. Like, I don't know what them niggas do. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand shit about their culture, but
But you can be respectful of it too. Like, it's just like, let's be respectful of each other. Let's listen to each other. Hot take. I think if people highly offensive. I don't mean to piss anyone off here, but if we were all just, nicer to each other and listen and gave each other the space to, like, have dialogue and just kind of, like, get to a level of understanding, sure, we might realize that we'll never understand something, but at least we can agree to disagree, or we can take that space, we can just separate ourselves from each other, because you know what, sometimes you just don't need to be around someone. Sometimes you just need to walk away, and that can be okay, because at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all on this earth together, and we just want to be happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think, to take it back to Christianity, like that is what the Bible describes as is kind of like pushing people towards. It's like, hey, love people, don't be violent, don't react hastily, have patience, only take your fair share. If you need something, ask for it. And if someone asks you for something, give it freely. I try very hard to, like, share so openly, because, the Bible even says it's like, whatever you give will be given back to you tenfold in the kingdom of heaven. And it's, part of me does struggle with that, because it's kind of like, am I giving because I want to give? Am I giving out of the generosity of my heart, or am I trying to get
earn
something
brownie points?
Exactly.
I feel that way all the time, bro.
Because even when I'll start doing something nice, and then I think about, like, oh, like I'll think about that verse, right? And I'll just think about, like, oh, hey, this will come back to me in some way. And then I'm like, oh, does that kind of invalidate my action? Because I didn't do the action because of that, but as I was doing the action, I thought of that, and it's like, oh, that's a bonus to me. Like, I don't think so. I donate plasma, right? And I don't think that's like me being charitable, because I started donating plasma because I needed money. Like, they call it a donation. It's not donating. I'm getting paid for it. I'm trading my plasma for money. Now, I do keep going back, and it is very helpful, but it's kind of like, if my job, like, if I work in an office just to pay bills, and that office happens to be like some company that helps people get health insurance or stuff they need, I am helping people, but I didn't get that job because I'm helping people. I'm donating plasma, and that's helping people, but I don't do it because I want. Well, I mean, that is part of it for me, though. Like, that does encourage me. There are some days I really don't want to do it, and I'm like, I don't really need the money, but you know what? Like, this is an important thing. This does help people. Like, I'm gonna get out of bed, and I'm gonna go and get a needle in my arm, and then donate my plasma. Sure, it'll make me tired later, but I'll just eat some protein. Like, I'll be fine, because this is it's a necessary part of a lot of medications. Go donate plasma. If you haven't done it, like, do it. It is so.
Or don't. I was about to join up for that. I didn't with it too much.
Really? Yeah. Do your research. Make sure you're going to a good clinic. Check the reviews. Do
possible side effects. Death.
Death?
Yeah. Because when they're the whole plasma thing, right, is like they're taking the blood out, but they're putting like a coagulant in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You can
that can interact really badly if you have like a pre-existing health condition. Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was going through them screenings, like, because I was about to donate when I was in Florida, and I was working at Chipotle for $13 an hour, and my rent was $3,000 a month. I was about to donate plasma, and then that didn't turn out. I tried to donate sperm, like that, didn't pan out. I was just like, all right, like, how am I gonna get this money?
Yeah.
Like, because you know what I mean, like, it sucks, and like. There's times, like, for example, like, I was watching a TikTok video yesterday, made me cry, bro. Like, it was about this, like, I won't say like a Muslim priest or something, and he was saying how this homeless man asked him for money, and he told the homeless man, hey, like, I'm not gonna give you money, but, like, if you want something to eat, I got you, bro. The homeless man was like, nah, man, like, just give me $1, bro, just $1. And the priest was like, nah, I can't give you that dollar because I know you're gonna do something that you shouldn't with it or whatever. So he was saying, like, he sits down, and the homeless man turns around and goes to another table, sits down, and asks that man for $1. Turned out he's asking another homeless man for $1. And the homeless man, he's like, didn't even think twice about it, what he was going to do with it. They just turned around and gave him that $1. And he was like, he said the shame that he felt from having judged that man, not giving him that $1. And here goes someone who had even less. You know what I mean? Like, and was still able to be kind and give, and like how much that like them up. And like I feel it, bro. Like there's times like yo, like I remember one time I was on my way to Burlington, and on the side of the road, dude had like a sign, like a cardboard sign. He was like, "Yo, anything helps. This and this and this." And like, I I think all I had on me like in cash was like $4 or something like that, and I was just like, like he looked like he might be, but you know what? I just pulled up, gave him the $4, kept it moving. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's not in our place to judge other
Judge not,
people,
lest ye be judged.
like because we don't know what these people are going through, what road their life's taking them, why they're even doing the drugs in the first place if they are doing drugs. So it's like, if it is what we should be doing is giving those people whatever they need, whether it's compassion, love, a fucking hug, some human decency, whatever that is that they need for that person to flourish in life, yo, like that's what we should be focusing on giving, so that we can make a positive change in that person's life. And that is our God-given calling, you know what I mean? To it says, like, if our neighbor asks, for something, to give us their shirt off our back, you know what I'm saying, to our neighbor. If like every I mean, even if you look at like the miracles that Christ did, like he go to some town, 5,000 people show up trying to hear him preach. Yo, we all hungry. Hey, I only got like 3 fishes. You know what? Miracle. I'm gonna multiply this bread. I'm gonna multiply these fishes so I can feed this man. Like, it was always about giving, giving, and giving. So for me, it's like, if we want to be anything like Christ, we have to start with being less selfish and give to those that need help the most. You know what I mean? When I went to Puerto Rico, I tried to bless my aunts with some bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to, you know what I mean? Like, and I felt the same way that, like, how you did. Like, oh, I'm just doing this to get the brownie points. But I still think that even if I am, God's still gonna bless me, because at the end of the day, like, there's still a part of me that is seeking to do good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like you know, it's better than like, if we look at the world that we live in, how heartless people are, how hardened we've become we live in a world where mass shootings in schools are like a normal thing. You know what I mean? Like death, violence, and so much despair in this country, like the homelessness, like there's children out there just homeless on the streets begging for money, young girls turning to prostitution because they got kicked out of their homes early. I mean, like, I've seen some of the most darkest things in this country, and it's like, the world would be a much better place if there were real Christians here. If we stop judging people and stop demanding mega churches and ushers close the door. 40,000.
Ushers close the doors. Oh,
just imagine what that
goodness.
40,000 would have done for a homeless community. You know what I'm saying? Like, or for like, and not to say that there aren't pastors out there that don't do good. I seen a video the other day of this pastor. He bought his drummer a car because his drummer was getting rides, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna bless you with this." Completely paid off. Like, that is so sweet, and I'm so happy that there's people out there that still do those things. But when you see like the greed, like Joel Osteen, when the hurricane was coming, he was like, "Nah, y'all ain't finna get these carpets muddy." Like, but then they turn around and then they found that he had like $1 million stashed in the bathrooms, like behind the walls. It's like, you people are crooks. Y'all are using God to enrich yourselves, and you will burn and fuck up for eternity.
There's a really good movie called I believe it's Honk Your Horn to Save Your Soul or something like that, and it's like this mockumentary starring J.K. Sterling Sterling K. Brown. J.K. Sterling. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of
Harry Potter.
Invincible. No, Invincible. I'm thinking of J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
But no, Sterling K. Brown. Incredible actor. Phenomenal. I absolutely love him. I love his voice. In any like voice acting roles he does, I'm glazing. But it's like he's really good. He stars in that. He's like the pastor of this mega church who's like this big hypocrite, and it really shows, like, gives you insight into like, no, I just can't. In the same way, I don't believe there is an ethical billionaire. There is no ethical mega church, or at least no biblical mega church, because it's like, to be spending all of that money on like, oh, we got an ice cream machine, and this is for Jesus because more people will want to come for the ice cream and stay for Jesus. It's like, come on,
We got
come on.
jetpacks.
Dude, the one who was flying? Are you kidding me? Like, you're doing gimmicks? Are you doing gimmicks? What did Jesus do when he walked in the temple and he saw that they were selling, like, that they turned it into a marketplace? What did he do? What did he do? Exactly. Honk Your Horn to Save Your Soul. Good movie. Really good. Liked it. I loved it. I loved it, actually. It was very good. Sterling K. Brown always brings the best. But, like, yeah, they really thought, like, there was a scene where he has this walk-in closet in the church, and he's like, oh, gotta get ready. We got Easter Sunday coming up, so gotta pick out a suit. And he's got his wife with him. He's like, honey, what do you think? The Prada, the Louis shoes with it. Ooh, you know what? I think I need a new suit. I think I need a new. What are you thinking?
Ushers, close the doors.
Ushers, close the doors. Close and lock the doors. 40,000. I need it. We got to get ready for Easter. I need that new.
It costs to be up here.
It costs to be up here. Oh my goodness. It was
Bro,
crazy.
I don't know how somebody didn't slap the goddamn fire out of him. Like,
wild, yeah.
Like if you'd have try to hold me hostage in church and say, yo, close the doors, and the usher would have been like, you ain't leaving.
How is that? That's my thing too. Like, what do the ushers do? Who are these ushers? Why is their loyalty so like, bro? If I'm like, lock the door. Yo, this way, y'all. Come on, right here. I'll hold the door. I'll hold the door open because they gonna have to. If the pastor wants me to close and lock the doors, you gonna come and have to lock it yourself because I don't like. I am a. You can ask like anybody who knows me. I am a stubborn, like, absolute, like, just I'm very strong-willed. I'm very I've been in a boat crash and a car crash. Each instance I hit my head, didn't even get a concussion. When the Lord built me, he said extra thick skull for this guy. So yeah, I'm very thick skull, both literally and metaphorically.
Strong head.
Strong head. Yeah, dude, that car crash was crazy. I could see if I pull up a picture of it. I had like a golf ball sized bump on the side of my head. That then drained, right? So the blood drained and then pooled under my eyes. So I had two black eyes, and this like Frankenstein looking forehead. It was like, dude, I looked like a messed up raccoon. It was crazy. And of course that was over winter break. So like our Christmas photos that year were just like, there's my whole family all smiling and happy, and then I'm over in the corner like looking like a victim. Just wild time. But yeah, like that was a crazy, experience. But yeah, so like I would not have backed off like at all. I would have been like, yo, I also like just kind of, there are times where I was like, I was raised in that generation of like, kids being heroes in like stories and stuff. So it's kind of like I just don't trust authority. All right. Like one of the first books I read was Matilda, where it's like, literally it's like, oh yeah, this teacher is evil. This teacher is good though. But because the other teacher's in charge of her, the principal is like, and I was like, huh. Yeah, adults can get away with abusing their power, because I saw that like in when I was in elementary school, I got picked on by teachers. Like I remember there was one time I got bullied by a group of older kids, and then I went to go ask I was a part of an after school program because both my parents worked full time. So I was like, they couldn't pick me up till like 6, and I can't walk home because I'm like 7, So I would just like sit around in the cafeteria after school, and they would have like attendants, or like, we called them the aftercare aides. And they were aides, like I hope they all got AIDS, frankly. Except for Miss Romney. Shout out Miss Romney.
Everybody got AIDS.
There was two people who worked there who were like actually like kind and cared. But like I made the mistake of walking up to the one who hated me apparently. I didn't even know what I did because I was like, I'm fine. You're beefing with a 7-year-old. You need to evaluate your life. You really need to evaluate your life, because I walked up and I'm like, excuse me, and she's like, 1 second, just sit down. And I'm like crying, and I'm like, okay. And I go wait, and then like 5 minutes later, like I don't know what she was doing. She was like typing on her phone or something. Maybe it was an important text. I don't know. I'm trying to give her a little leeway, but there's not a lot of leeway to give her because she was being ridiculous. Like it comes over 5 minutes later. It's like, what could possibly be something? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. They were over there. They were being mean to me. And she's like, I can't understand you when you're crying. God, you're such a baby. And I'm like, what? So yeah, so I don't like, I challenge authority a lot of the time because like, let's be real. Just because you're in a position of power does not mean you deserve it. Like, look at all of the videos of corrupt cops. It's like, yeah, maybe the guy who really wanted to have a job that gave him authority over others and a gun, maybe he was doing that for bad reasons. Maybe they got bullied in high school and now they're trying to take that out on other people. Because it's a story we see time and time again. I'm not saying there aren't good cops, but I mean, look at the Harvard prison experiment. The kids, when they were given the option to choose whether they were guards or prisoners, the ones who pursued power are also the ones who were most likely to abuse it because they want the power so they can abuse it. Yeah. A good person who deserves to be in charge is normally someone who doesn't want to be in charge because they're humble enough and good enough to say, actually, I don't want to be in charge of anybody. I don't want to impose my will on others, which is why they should be in charge. And that's not what happens. We only give it to those. We give power to these people who pursue it with this hunger and this fervor. But where is that coming from? Why do they want power so bad? Why do they want to control other people so bad? And to take it back to like, there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire. Like money does equal power. So you have rich people. There's no ethical way to make $1 billion. Like there just simply isn't. If you need to consider how much money that actually is, like think about $1 billion.
It's 1,000 millions.
Yeah. Like think about how happy you would be to receive $1,000. That's not even 1% of $1 billion, right? If you were working, there was like, there's a million different analogies or visual representations that are all escaping me right now, but it's like if you turned $1 billion into nickels, you could stack it to the moon and back like multiple times, which is insanity. So like $1 billion is making 100 people, or is making 1,000 people, millionaires. Like dog, that's a lot. So it's like a billionaire can do so much.
They can end world hunger.
They can do so much. And to be fair, billionaires don't actually have $1 billion sitting somewhere. It's all like locked up in assets and stuff and all this technical financial jargon. There's a lot of times like they're just like running scams basically, where it's like
there's definitely a bunch of pyramid schemes.
Like they're borrowing money they don't have and they're putting up stuff as
putting the Twitter, X as his deposit for the money that he was borrowing to buy it.
But then right, his stocks started dropping in X, and then it wasn't, so his collateral wasn't worth as much. So the bank started scrambling to steal stuff. So he sold X to XAI, which is the AI feature. Somehow it's a separate it's a separate thing. He sold it, and here's the thing. He owns both of those things. So he sold it to himself and lost $11 billion on that deal. Now, how do you lose $11 billion when you're selling it to yourself? He lost it on purpose. Now, why is that? Capital gains. Now he can make $11 billion and never get charged and not have to pay taxes on it. There's it's a lot of financial footwork. It's a lot of really confusing.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Print. Exactly. It's just when you boil it down, it's just these people are scamming the system, and that's what you need to do, because in order to hoard enough money to have $1 billion, you need to be stepping on necks. You need to be cutting throats. Amazon put hundreds of thousands, if not millions of businesses out of business, mom and pop shops, because they would just come in, or not come in. It's online service, it would just, but it would undercut people's ability. And then, you can sell on Amazon, sure, but they're still getting a kickback from the profit. It's like when you've monopolized the market, now you make the rules, because what are they going to do?
It's like Apple with the 30% charge, the 30% that they charge the app makers for them to host that. Like, so for you to download an app on the iPhone, anytime, let's say you make a purchase, Apple gets 30% of that off every purchase on any app. You know what I mean? Like, but to change the topic a little bit, speaking of having too much money, have you seen that they brought the dire wolves back?
Yeah, I did see. I saw a little bit about that. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I mean, they look cool. Like, I mean, like
They look cool. Yeah.
remember me of like Game of Thrones and Ghost and shit, you know what I mean? But the things like what's next? Like Jurassic Park. Like these fuckers are like literally like playing God.
Well.
And
Oh, sorry. I'll let you finish it. Go ahead.
like for example, with how they're with CRISPR and how they're cloning these things. Like they're trying in Russia. They're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth and the saber wolf tiger. Like over here, they got dire wolves now. Like how much longer before we go? Oh well, we found some dinosaur skeleton that we can extract DNA from, or we found some fossilized eggs in some under Arkansas somewhere. So let's bring back the pterodactyl or some bullshit. Like it's like I'm not like I'm for science being beneficial to us sometimes, but I'm wary of it to see like where we're going with it, and I am definitely scared as shit. Like when I saw those direwolf puppies, I'm like, damn, yo, like how much longer before we get chimeras, sphinxes, and all,
I mean,
I know that's far off.
That's coming into a level of like mythology.
Well, yeah, but in Japan they got half human, half pigs. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like they're making them ready. So
That's
it's like
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like they have in some lab somewhere, they got artificial brains like that grow their own eyes so that they can see. And like the whole purpose of these artificial brains is for computing power. So they like literally like take like a little chunk and like they make this little mini brain that can think for itself, has its own consciousness, develops eyes and looks around and shit. And it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna use that for computing power. That is weird.
That is weird.
Like,
yeah, that's
the whole thing in Japan of the half human, half pig things is so that we can take out the organs because we can't, so we can since it's so hard to get organs and shit. They're like, let's make a species of like pig people that we can harvest these organs from. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but what if like you're born the pig person? Like someone just fucking made you in a lab and it's just like
that does create. Yeah, there's a level of like ethical debates, and I mean, I am no expert on ethics, but that's a crazy area because yeah, on the one hand, a lot of people need help. In fact, there was a show there's a scene from this like cop drama, right, where these parents, this episode takes place like more in a hospital, right? So this girl, like she goes in for like brain surgery, something goes wrong or like the surgery doesn't work, whatever happens, either way, however it happened, the girl passes away, and then the parents are heartbroken. And then when they come to see the body, they're like, wait, she was just getting brain surgery. Why is there an incision from why is there an incision from her chest to her waist? And someone said, oh, one of the nurses was like, oh, well, they make that incision so they can harvest organs. And they're like, the parents are like, we never signed off on this. And so it turns out like the doctor did that without the parents' consent. That's illegal. And therefore the cop was like, oh, well, we have to go get the organs and bring them back to the parents because it's illegal to take them. Like we can't just let this crime happen. And so like they go out to the doctor who had done it, and the soon to be fired, but the doctor was like, well, her lungs and kidneys are in storage right now, but her heart is actually on a helicopter and is about to be flown to like Oklahoma. Because there's like some 3-year-old boy, or there's not 3-year-old. There's a boy who's been waiting 3 years to get a new heart, and this is this could be his one and only chance, right? Like he doesn't have a lot of time left, and so now it's like the parents have to decide. It's like, oh,
do we say the 3? And me, like that'd be so hard because instinctually, I'm your 3-year-old. Like, no, you
That's
just
great. For me,
stole, like, you just harvested my daughter's organs and just, without my permission, just decided you was gonna take these shits and no. Turn that helicopter right back around.
For
like,
me, I very much I'm a very firm believer in like, yo, it's like when I die, like, yo, I don't care what happens to my corpse. I'm gonna be chilling in heaven. Like, I'm not. I think like the reverence that we do with like funerals, like I hate the funeral industry. Once again, it's like it's just like it's because it is a byproduct of corruption where it's like, oh, you know, if you want grandma to be buried in this casket, you know, it's going to be $32,000. Like, oh, you want a tombstone? You want to know where your loved one is buried? Okay, well, that's going to be another 10,000. And then like when my grandma passed, my grandma Eva, RIP, you know, that was my dad's mom.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult, like dealing with that alone. But like what they don't talk about, like what people don't really talk about is it was hard seeing my dad go through that and having to like plan the funeral. Like he would be like pissed because family members would be like, this is what I want. This is what I want at the funeral. This is what I want here. This is what I want here. It's like, yo, this man's mother just passed away. She is gone. And you're making demands? You're making demands. You're saying, hey, condolences, but you should really have some jalapeno poppers at the wake because it's like, kill yourself. Yeah. Kill yourself. What do you mean this is what I want? Because
death will show you exactly who people are sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know,
because funerals, they're not for the dead. It's for the living. It's not the dead don't care. The dead don't have opinions. They're gone. They're past, and that is sad. And we should mourn them. We should love them. We should celebrate their life. It's okay to be sad, but you can also, you know, you can take joy in like, you know, hey, don't cry because it's over. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened, right? Like, think about the good times that you spent with them. You know, love them as much as you did when they were here. And celebrate them for the things they did. But at the same time, it's like, if you can, like, so I respect that people feel some sort of way. And I will say, you know, I want to put a little asterisk here before I interject my opinion on as far as like what decision the parents should have made. I am not a father, right? I can imagine the love that I would feel. Like, I know that it's a very special feeling, but I can't say I've experienced it myself. So I can't say I know what I would do if my child was was there and had her organs stolen, right? Like, I'd be pissed, don't get me wrong, but at the same time I would feel like really like
shitty if a 3-year-old died and you could have saved him.
Exactly, because I'm like, that's somebody, like, that's somebody else's son. And in my mind, my thought process would, like, at least in this situation, I tried to put myself in that situation. I was like, okay, my thought process is the heart's already out.
I'd be too full of grief though. Like I don't think I would, like, for me, like, I would. It's just the principle that I just lost a child. Then you took her organs or his organs without my permission or her permission, and then decided to go off with them. Like, yes, I know ideally I should just let you have that heart so you could save this 3-year-old. But my daughter ain't even in the ground yet.
Yeah.
Like, you just like so. And I was gonna bring up, like, the real thing, like, death shows you who you are, is right. Like, I had this homie, he was like, his granddad was dying, right? We all knew he didn't have long. Now, his granddad, he had a wallet that had these old $100 bills. Apparently, they were worth more than $100 a piece because they were that old. My boy didn't know it. Grandpa dies. Like, literally, he called me up like the day after his granddad died, and he was like, yo, I need to go cop. I was like, this is weird. It's never cops asses, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a little queer, you know, but a whole. I'm like, yo, he must got some bread, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I scoop him up, we go drop him off, and then, like, his mom calls me later, and she was like, she starts dropping a bunch of N-bombs on me. Like, yeah, So, bro, I swear to God, I was about to smack the shit out of his mom. Like that was like one of the only times where I can say like I really wanted to smack a female, and I was like, cause she just dropped like every racist word you can think of on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stole my father's money. He's not even like his corpse is still warm. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? She was like, that he just that that he just grabbed. He's like, how do you think he paid for it? I was like, I don't know. He called me, said he was going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's obviously not your fault. Like
I'm not thinking about where he got the money from. He's like, yeah, he took it off his grandfather's corpse. He's like, those $100 bills, they were worth like easily $1,000 a piece. Blah, blah, blah. And he just went and spent all that money. I was just like, yo, I don't know what to tell you, but that ain't got shit to do with me.
It's like I can understand the argument that like, oh well, like, you know, he's not gonna need it, you know, like I believe in inheritance. Like, no, I don't think, like, frankly, I think it is like, you know, it's a little.
I was the only one that loved him anyways.
It's like no, because like when I was like little, I was like I first learned about, like, you know, the pyramids in school, right? And they talked about pharaohs being like buried with all this treasure, and my first thought was like, what a waste. Like, what? So we're just gonna bury all this, like, all of this valuable stuff because it's valuable with a person who can't appreciate it. Like, they're gone. They're not here anymore, you know, and that's sad. And but we should mourn them. And you should, like, but the fact that, like, your first thought is like, now what am I getting out of it?
No,
die. Yeah, you don't deserve to be here. You are not a human, bro. If you don't feel any remorse, you don't deserve any of that. Like, if you don't feel if you can't mourn a person, you shouldn't be able to benefit.
Like, you gotta realize too, like, his granddad, you know, he was laying on his bed when he passed. So for him to, like, he had to roll over his corpse, and reach into his back pocket.
What? You went for the wallet first thing.
Yeah, I was like,
Granddad, no. Papa, please don't leave. Okay, he's gone. Let me see what you got here.
Let me go get this granddaddy perp real quick.
Bread, like, come on.
Yeah, and that was
granddaddy perp.
That was exactly no, but he really did get granddaddy perp. That was the funniest part of it. But
that's insane. Oh my goodness. What, like, that's horrible, man. That's horrible. It is,
yo.
Like,
but like, back to the dire wolves, yo. Like, to me, what's gonna be freaky, yo, can you imagine, like for example, like right now, there's coyotes running around. There's all kinds of like animals that we have to like factor into. Like when if I go to the woods, I have to think there's bears out here. I have to be prepared. Can you just imagine a world where we're here and dire wolves are just running around?
Well, I think I mean they gotta be right now. They're in captivity. Like they must, and they're splicing it with dog DNA. So
gray wolf DNA, but
gray, yeah. But like ultimately, like the assumption is that they are able to be domesticated.
The assumption, like,
yeah, exactly. Like, it's with
this
science,
is
it's
dire
never like
wolf. Just imagine, like, if you took a pit bull and be like, let me genetically modify this.
Do not be talking on pit bulls. First of all,
pit bulls can be sweet. I'm not saying that.
No. Pit bulls are sweet. By nature, they're sweet. In fact, they actually had the nickname of nanny dogs, right?
Because they used to have them watch the kids.
To have them watch the babies, and they were rated the second most temperate dog breed and friendliest.
But I've seen some violent pit bulls.
That's because they were trained to be that way.
Yes, they were trained to be. I know. You know, Mike Vick was the owner. But what I'm saying is, like, I've seen some vicious ass pit bulls. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, yeah.
So like, now I'm just thinking, imagine if you took one of those pit bulls and then said, you know what? Let's play around with DNA a little bit. Let me just add on some, like,
True. Yeah,
make it a bigger pit bull.
Yeah, the fact that it exists means that it can be misused. Yeah, like, I get that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and on top of that, we don't know how smart these dire wolves are. Now, of course, yes, it's not a complete dire wolf. Blah, blah, it's a genetically edited gray wolf with dire wolf DNAs and shit. But obviously, it picks up the characteristics of it because it physically looks different than the gray wolves. And so it's like, we don't know how smart these things are.
Mhm.
We don't know how, like, imagine if them like break out and like then start repopulating.
Jurassic
You know
Park.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
on some Jurassic World,
Yeah.
we got sequels now.
now we got to factor in dire wolves, like just to go camping. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd love a Jurassic Park movie. Like, obviously you can't call it Jurassic because I know forgive me, dinosaur fans out there, or the, history fans out there, whichever, I don't know really what to call it, but like I get there are like different like ages throughout there. So it's like, but like, could we see like a Jurassic Park movie that's like, got like all those like the giant sloths and like all the megafauna. Like let's see some creatures with fur in this next one, because I feel like they could do some really creative stuff with a giant sloth. Like maybe they weren't always moving slow. They're giant, so like like who knows? Who knows? But I feel like that would just be cool. Let me see some dire wolves in the next Jurassic Park.
you ever see Megalodon, the movie?
Yes, I saw the Meg. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Just imagine if like scientists were like, you know what? I think it'd be a cool idea if we took a great white shark
And spliced
edited
with
it,
Megalodon.
and made it a megalodon. Like now we got megalodons in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, what is the line?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we are playing God. Like, in China, they genetically modified dogs to make them glow in the dark. Like,
Oh yeah. They spliced like mice with jellyfish DNA, and they're bioluminescent now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much shit that we do, like that like, I don't think that we understand the repercussions to all these things. Like, these things are gonna like, it's like COVID. It's not gonna stay in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's gonna get out there. It's gonna take a lot of grandmothers and grandfathers from us. Like, just imagine, like, you an old ass farmer chilling, and a goddamn dire wolf just like
Pulls
runs
up
up
on
on your shit. Like, even if like it don't come after you, let's say it's just hungry and just takes your sheep, whatever. Like, them
How
things
many
is
sheep
big.
can it eat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Big bad wolf for real.
so it's like I don't think that they think these things through. Same thing like when they're making the woolly mammoth now, and they're trying to make the saber-wolf tiger. I'm like, yeah, but you're putting them into an ecosystem that they've never been a part of.
Well,
like, every
yeah.
ecosystem is pretty, like, the ecosystems are fragile. There's whatever's at the top, it eats whatever's below, and it continues on down. So like it's like in Florida, you have a bunch of invasive species, like the Burmese python. You have iguanas that are supposed to be there. You have I think even like certain kinds of fish. Like, they're wrecking the ecosystems because they're not natural to that ecosystem. So it's like, what do you think we're gonna do when we bring prehistoric creatures back?
Well,
Like,
so to that point, and also I do want to keep an eye on the time here because we should be wrapping up soon. But I did want to say, I think it comes down to what the purpose of this is, because I can see good, like, I don't think that they're just bringing these things back just to bring them back. To me, and I can't say that I fully know the motivations. I think that's what this comes down to, right? Like, concern should stem from, what are these things going to be used for? What is their motivations for bringing these things back? To me, it seems more like this is a proof of concept, right? Like the making bioluminescent mice by splicing them with jellyfish DNA is like, oh, can we isolate traits and put it in things to, like, because then that opens up a whole realm of of possibilities in genetic modification, where it's like, can we make humans, can we use certain things like axolotls, right, can regrow entire limbs? Could we isolate that gene and implant it into humans? Because we already are able, you can actually you are able to regrow large portions of your ribs if it is not fully destroyed. And so it's like this idea of like, how could we improve our own quality of life? But also, I think there is another, like, if we're able to bring back these extinct prehistoric species, can we bring back modern species that are going extinct? Now we could, like, depending on how it's used, this could be actually, instead of destroying ecosystems, could be used to save and maintain and perpetually, like, keep ecosystems alive. It's like global warming's a huge problem, and it's killing a lot of animals. maybe we find a way to make those animals better able to acclimate until we can fix the climate. Although I don't know if we actually can fix the climate.
Sounds
at
good
this
in
point.
theory. It's just that I'm too cynical to think that's how it's going to work, because if we look at pretty much every other technology that we've developed, it's never used for good, really. That's why we don't have the cure for cancer. We don't have a cure for AIDS. We don't have all these things. But for me, what I'm really thinking about is, like, for example, these direwolf things, right? They're not going to be accessible to us. It's not something that we're just going to be like. Those things are probably expensive. So can you imagine if, like, somebody like Elon Musk had a whole direwolf army to protect them? Like,
well, that's the thing, though. Is it even going to be something you can commodify, or like, is it going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, the government is funding this research in order to restore this, like, natural population. It's like, what
happens when you're in charge of the government?
Fair
you know
enough.
what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure we've seen like $6 trillion disappear from the Pentagon a couple times in the last couple
Yeah,
years.
I believe it was September 10th, 2001.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying?
$3 trillion goes missing. What happened?
The government's not really good at self-regulating, is all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Things go disappearing. You know what I mean? Like,
if I gave you
direwolf
$1 trillion and you came back to me and were like, I had no idea where it went, I would want to know where that money went. So why is it like the government's like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to it.
yeah.
How does that happen? How does that doesn't, like, that shouldn't be, like, if that is, like, because it's like, all right, let's assume that you did genuinely lose it. People need to be fired.
Yeah.
Like, people need, everyone.
No, you better find that.
From the top down,
Get that money back.
everybody's getting kicked out, because if y'all are hemorrhaging $1 trillion, like $1 trillion, I forget how much.
Lose
of it,
a tool in the military.
yeah, right. Like, it's like, but if I use more staples in a month than my company deems necessary, it's my ass. But like, when I forget how much money actually got it was like
6.4 trillion.
Right before, and it was right before 9/11, which
that was the first time. Then it happened again.
Yeah.
Like a couple years later, I forget how much the second time. I want to say it was 2 trillion the second time. But even, I mean, when we're talking about trillions.
Yeah, we're talking like trillions. Again, a billion's a lot, guys. Again, quarters, or if you turned $1 billion into nickels, up to the moon and back multiple times. Like, at least more than 5 times.
The government, they're like, hey, we're like they're saying that the world is $230 trillion in debt. Who do you owe?
Each other.
230 trillion.
That's the money game. It's the money game. It's this, because money allows this. It gives them this leeway of, like, that's how billionaires have $1 billion without having $1 billion, because it's all tied up in assets and hypothetical money. Because a lot of times you can just, like, write a number
Monopoly
down on
money.
paper. It boils, like, obviously it's like there's a ton of financial systems in place, but it's essentially like a lot of words all to say, like, hey, dear bank, I owe you $3 billion, and I'm going to say that you have this thing, but actually I own this thing unless I don't pay you that $3 billion. But because I have more than $3 billion, you're never going to ask me for anything, and I'm never going to pay this back, blah, 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 whatever. Like, it's all of this financial footwork just to be like, it's just a lot of, like, you owe me this, and this person owes me this, and blah, 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 until, like, it's like $234 trillion in debt. And it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, it just feels like we have lost the plot entirely. It's not about the quality of life anymore. It's just.
I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
Love you, big thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials. You know what I mean? Just to keep up to date with us. I don't really care if this goes viral or not. That's not, like, what this is about. What it is about is just creating good entertainment that we can all sit back and enjoy, have meaningful conversations and discussions, and develop ourselves as we walk through this journey through college and through our everyday lives as believers. And, not all of us believe in the same stuff, but, it's okay. We can have discussions about it like we do here. And Charlie, you got anything you want to tell the folks before we head on out?
Just stay aware, like fact check things, fact check me. If I got something wrong, if I did something wrong, like let us know in the comments. Be respectful of course, but like, is if there is a way we can be more accurate or improve our content, like let us know. We would love to do that. But also like think for yourselves, critically think, evaluate stuff. Pay attention to what's going on around you. If someone tells you something, why don't you look it up and just make sure they're right? Because word of mouth is a very unreliable way to get information. But, beyond that, stay curious, stay positive, love others, and just be a good person. Like, it's really easy.
Yo, directly ahead is a pterodactyl poster.
Yeah.
That is so because of all the dinosaurs I could have thought of. Why did I say a pterodactyl? And then I look over and there's a goddamn pterodactyl poster over there.
It's a government psyop, man. I'm telling you.
See patterns in the universe. I don't know. But y'all have a good one. And until next time.
Catch you later.